So today's project is I want to investigate if I can put in a temporary walkway along the edge of the seawall using leftover materials from the boathouse deck.
The plan is to use leftover 2x4s from the boathouse as the frame to attach the composite decking boards to. Since I want the top of the decking boards to be flush with the top of the 2x8 across the seawall, I need to dig out some of the dirt underneath. Since my daughter makes all the calls on the boathouse, I brought her in for some options on which way to go here.
First thing I was thinking, I would put them like this because that's more support this way. But then I thought, well, this way I wouldn't have to get it so deep. I wouldn't have to dig so much out.
Yeah.
Strong enough now? I think I can stabilize these enough. If these are stable and don't move, then this one is you can do this, like we talked about. Another way, I'm not saying I want to do this, but you can do this. I probably wouldn't want to go much more than that.
Well, I'm just thinking, like,
Here we're talking about how far apart we need the bottom boards for the proper support.
whatever, like, what is that? Like when you're building a frame for a house, it's like 12 inch or 16-inch studs.
Yeah, these are probably, it looks like these are more because you don't have much give. But I could always put a third 2x4.
Here I'm saying I could always put a third board in the middle if we need to. I found this tool that my wife uses to plant her bulbs really works well for the fine work in this situation.
Okay, that's the concept. Now I'll get you a different view of it. Okay, I think that concept will work. Just have to keep my level going here. I dug this way too deep in this corner. I had to put some sand back in there. Okay, I'm back on the Lake Boardwalk project. Did some research and we're having a different calculation for how many boards we have. Originally I thought we had about 45 23 inches, which we cut to 21. But now I'm finding out we have a bunch of 19, so we need some decisions here. I'll try to show the difference. So this is the 24 here. We cut it down to 23 to match the end of this dock. This one is 19, so we probably need to take an inventory of how many and what size we have and decide whether we want to go 19 or not. So while I'm waiting for a decision on the cross pieces, I'm going to keep leveling this out. Actually using some sand from the beach to level this 2x4 out. Using the level here to make sure the fall is the same as the top of the seawall. Packing this in the best I can with the end of the shovel. I need quite a bit of sand, so I'm using the bigger bucket. So I'm going to make some more boards for the boardwalk down by the seawall, and I have some 2x6 leftovers here. I want to see if I can cut them in half, but in order to do that, since I don't have my table saw here, I'm going to use the hand saw, which I'm going to see if I can anchor these boards to this plastic table here. This may not work, but we'll give it a shot, see how it goes. Probably going to have to do this in 2 steps. So these boards are going to be underneath the planking, so they're not critical to be exactly the same, so I'm going to measure in half. 5.5 divided by 2, what's that, 2 3/4? Okay, so I'm going to have to take that clamp off, and then hopefully board doesn't move a whole lot. Got a dead battery, so let me get that charging while I put the other battery in. Of course, the wife is running errands in the car, and that's where the battery charger is, so we'll put this battery on and see how long we go until the charger gets back here. Hopefully it won't be more than a half an hour. Well, hopefully I didn't break the camera. So we have a bunch of different lengths of this Trex board that we're going to use for planking. So I'm going to bring those down so we can figure out the optimum length. And then also we'll see how this 2x3 works instead of a 2x4. Like I said, this whole thing is being made with leftover materials, so you get what you bring. Very shortest board we have is 19 inches. And what we want is 23. So the plan is we may taper at the very end down to the 19 inches. So I'm going to start laying some of this out here to get a little better idea of what's going on. I'm going to have to put some sand under here to level this, but we'll do that a little bit later. I want to lay these boards out first. So these obviously are the 19s, and they'll probably go at the end. But just to hold the space here, we'll put these down. These are some of the ones we'll cut to 23. Alright, I think I'm going to go back up and cut another 2x6. And then I'll bring some more of these planking boards back with me. I cut one more 2x6 and ripped it and put those two at the end there. I'm going to put some more planking down, and then we'll probably dig a little. Do a little more digging on the end there, and then lay the next 2x3s that I cut. So, as you can see, I've dug out a couple pieces of sod already. I want to dig all the rest of this out, and then that'll probably be done for today, but I'll show you later where I'm going to put all this stuff to try to get something to grow. I think I'm going to go try to sharpen this a little more, since I'm going to do a lot of side cutting with it. Okay, I got the shovel sharpened, so we'll try that and continue digging up the sod. Okay, we'll load up the last few pieces of sod, and then I'm going to try to level this out a little bit, and then we'll break for lunch. I was trying to put the sun behind me, but I'm going to be working facing this way, so We'll try this for a while, see if this works. I'm going to need some sand to level this out, so we'll take the sod up and bring the cart back so I can get some sand in there. Alright, enough for today. Lunchtime. Come back later on this. Today we're back on the boardwalk project. I want to try to move these 2x4, 2x3s for the framing closer together so we don't have as much flex in the middle. I'll see if I can show you here. There's just a little bit of flex here, so I'm thinking if I move this in 2 inches and move that in 2 inches, you might be able to get rid of that.
So now we've moved this in 2 inches to make it more sturdy. Now we'll do the same thing to the other side.
Okay, let's mark the first board at 23 and give her a cut.
Measured twice, cut once.
Okay, there's the first 23. We'll go check it out real quick before I cut them all. Okay, let's try the 23 here and see if this is what we want. I think that's good enough right here, so 23 is the number. Let's see if we can just use this one as a template and then make them all off of this. cut on the wrong side of the line there, so let's make sure I cut on the right side of the line.
Need to separate the cut pieces from the template, so we'll put the cut pieces clear on the end there.
Yeah, that's much better. Let's cut the tabs off so we don't have to pull them off. See if this works a little better.
Since I have a lot of boards to cut, I wanted to get this up higher so I don't have to bend over so far.
I think that'll work. Just got to get the table more secure. Get a couple little shims put in there. These are some shims I made a while back and saved them, so hopefully I can get that to work.
I thought this would be the most efficient way to get the cut boards down to the lake, but later I learned that carrying them under my arms was a better way.
Okay, now to see if there's flex in the middle. I think I'm going to go with that. I don't feel a whole lot of flex. I think we'll do that right there. You know, we're still level here. Close enough. Close enough. The only thing I haven't quite figured out yet, and we'll do that later, is make sure we have enough boards to go all the way down. I'm probably going to put a 1/4 inch gap in between here, or maybe an 1/8 inch, but we'll figure that out later. I think the next step is I'll take some more boards up to cut, and then make sure I got these spaced right. These are the real short ones, so I'm going to put those clear down at the other end. Alright, take the boards up, bring my tape measure down, try to line these next boards up. Alright, let's see if we can get these next boards lined up. One. There's our 21. We got sand under here. We should be good up to here. One thing I'm noticing here, this gap is bigger than this, so I'm going to flip that board and see if it changes it any. That doesn't seem to help any. Now these aren't too bad, so I don't know if I have to, I could take the boards up and cut an angle here. We'll see if we get that far. Let's work on this right here first. See if we have the same situation. Yeah, looks like the same deal. Alright, let's check the flex here and see how that works. Still good on the flex, so I'll have to think about that crack there. We'll put that at the end of this project. So I guess next is level these next two boards here. Gonna go get some sand to put underneath that longer 2x4. Okay, we'll lay some more of these planks down, see how it looks. Okay, we'll go up and cut a few more boards. Okay, next 5 boards. We'll put these next 4 boards down and go get some sand. So you can see we don't have enough boards that are going to make the 21-inch cut. We got a bunch of 19s and less there. So we need to decide how we're going to fit those in, most probably on the end, because I do have some more boards yet to cut the 21 inchers. So we'll go get those boards and cut them. Okay, got 5 more 21 inchers, so we'll move all these short ones down a little bit. I think this board's drifting in, so I'm going to have to go get my tape measure and check that. Yeah, quite a bit. I probably have about 4 or 5 more 21-inch boards, so we could slide all those 19s down to the end. But I'm going to take a break now, and then I'll come back and work on this later. So I have a 2x4 underneath this that's got an angle on the end, and I want to remove that so it's more flush. So I need to find that, and then we'll cut that off. This is what I want to make flush. Okay, I got this squared off, so we'll adjust all the boards now. Okay, the preferred length is 23 inches. I've got a bunch of 19s down there. But I have some more boards I can cut up into 23. So we'll do that first, and then whatever's left over, we'll have to use these 19s. Okay, this is what we have left with all the scraps. After that, they're short pieces. So we'll take these and see how many 23s we can make. This is my template that I was using to measure the boards, I believe. Double check, make sure that's 23. Yep, that is 23. Okay, we'll take all the 19s out and put the 23s in. Okay, the goal was to reach the crack there right in front of that camera. So we got 5 19s in order to reach that crack. And then in between the 23s and that, we got a couple oddballs, probably a 22 and a 21 or something. So what I'm thinking is if I space these out, I want to see maybe we could make it all the way there with the 23. So I'm going to count that up and do some arithmetic here. So basically there's 45 cracks. If we have a gap of 1/4 of an inch, that's about 11 would be 44. It's about 11 inches we would make up, which is basically 2 boards. So we'd still be 3 short on the 19. So do some more discussion with the women and see if we want to end it sooner at 23 or we want to have it go all the way to the crack using 19s. We're back on the boardwalk project. I got to finish some leveling of the base 2x4s on this end, and then we have to take all the planking off. We're going to put paper underneath the 2x4s and then start fastening everything down. So my wife had the idea of putting this leftover tar paper down underneath to try to keep the water from soaking through the cracks in the composite board and then washing the dirt out below it. So it may help a little, it may not, but it's leftover, it's been laying around the house, we might as well give it a shot. 23 inches, so we might as well take our best shot at 23. So there's lines on this tar paper. I'm going to find the 23-inch mark, and then that itself is a couple inches from one of the existing lines, so we'll just cut along that the best we can. then I'm thinking in the inside, if I just put
Here we're discussing what screw pattern to use to attach the planking boards.
So that leaves you some options.
So that being the case, do I do this looks-wise now? I do this. So they're all going this way.
Yes. The other thing, if you're on a roll and you want to switch it up from leaving around dinner time till tomorrow, we can always do that as well.
I'm going to run out of gas waiting for that.
All right.
So this is probably a lot of overkill, but we'll see how it works out. I want to mark where I'm going to put these holes. And I basically want to end up probably with 2 screws on each side. But right now I'm going to put 1 screw on each diagonal corner, and then we'll go back later and do the other screws if needed. So I'm going to use this as a template. Drill hole and hole. And then we'll drill through this into the board for the pilot holes. So basically 3 inches in. And this side will be 4 inches in. I guess I'll do 1 inch in from this side. So we got our 4 marks for the hole. Well, that didn't work good. This slipped out, so tighten that back up.
Notice here I had to remove the template and drill a second time in order to hit the 2x4 underneath because the drill bit wasn't long enough. Later we skipped this step. Now we can put the screw in. I went back to the screw a second time here because I wanted to make sure that it was sunk in far enough that it did not stick above the boards and somebody catch their feet on it.
I don't know if you can see it here, but we'll try. When this screw went in, it pushed a little bit of the plastic up to form a ring around it. Same thing over here. So we'll see if that works. Looks like battery's about done, so time to change the battery. It's about 90 degrees out here, so the shade is actually pretty good. You can see the shade for the boathouse ends about here. So I was going to try to use this umbrella, but where the sun's at, it doesn't help yet. But as the sun moves, it may help, so we'll see when we get there. Looks like the drill battery's running out, so I'll probably have a break for lunch here soon. Yeah, looks like that's stuck.
At this point, I lost my shade from the boathouse, so I was able to move the umbrella over and get a little more. Up to 4 boards at a time now. Moving my shade. By this time it's getting really hot, so I'm going to move the umbrella for the last time. Almost done now. Thanks for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. In my next couple videos, I will be working on my yard again, using the dethatcher to rough it up, and then I'm going to plant some fescue grass this side along with the ryegrass, and then we'll also be back to the